Okay, sorry this is taking long. I'm trying to share my screen
Yeah,
so that we can all see
no.
what we're going to be discussing today.
Yep. Thank God. Never repeated.
Please, when you join, kindly mute yourself. Thank you to not do.
Miracle, I think you are muted.
Hey, Jesus, bosses.
Give him cause. This your screen is showing and you are on live. And who is this person's drawing this? Can you guys hear me? Miracle. Okay, I think you
Not every accusation is yeah, we can hear you.
okay. Good day. Miracle is muted. We have those drawing things in our on our this thing. So what we do is who is sharing? We need to stop them from drawing this thing that they are drawing on the whiteboard. Okay.
Okay, I'm really, really sorry for the hold up. I just got a new document which I believe would be better for us to present.
Okay. All right.
I'm going to bring that up in a minute.
All right. Well done, sir. Then I think we need to stop people from unmuting because they would make noise. And they rename themselves to start a video, request, transcribe. All right. So while you're trying to share, Good afternoon. No, it's morning. Good morning, everybody. Um, I'm very glad to be here, and I'm sure we are also very glad to be here. We are in week 5, and interestingly, I must say I've been following up for all the weeks, and Dr. Ife has been doing a very, very nice session with you guys. It's very, very interesting to see that we are active and that we are here. Um, I'm very passionate about the facility management industry, and I do hope that soon, with collaborators here, we should be able to, speak more about this industry, not just not just in just for properties and commercials, but also even for industries. Miracle, when you are ready, let me know. Just to give a very quick background, in 2013, 2014, I was actually doing my internship in an industry, and I was in a department called the utility. But I never knew it was even facility management that we were trying to do, well, that department was doing, because they take care of the utilities, the pumps, the waters, the HVAC system, which is the ACs and the heating element, everything that makes that the utilities, right? The operations of the factory runs is what they do. And just some 6 7 years along the line, I just got to know that, oh, that's actually facility management that we are doing. So it's very, very interesting to see that, we have people here very active, who are also joining these classes and lectures every week. Like it's being said, this is being hosted by House Properties and Ibotech. And I know Dr. Ife has done a lot of extensive introduction about Ibotech and also what House Properties does. So if you do have needs, right, when it comes to energy, when it comes to water monitoring, when it comes to anything that requires getting data from your site, you can reach out to us, either reach out to Doctor, reach out to Peace, or reach out to me directly. And also, we also have expertise, right? Dr. Ife has been in the industry for very long. He was the past CEO of um, Fumo, right? Which is also a very, I mean, it's a company that will be known in the facility management industry. And of course, we have expertise for if you need clean water, if you need generator servicing, if you need FM professionals, right? You can do well to reach out to him. And also, if you have challenges, with your residents, with your tenants, with occupants, just reach out to us. We can help, um, what's it called? Address it with you. Um, I know Doctor used to start with a word of the day. So today that Miracle is doing it. I don't know if he has a word of the day, but I think the word of the day for me is more on you cannot manage what you can't see. You cannot control what you can't see. If you need any motivation, I think the current situation of Nigeria is our motivation. So, or the country or the world is our motivation. Everywhere is not good, and but then there are opportunities, and for me, I always go back to what Jack Ma, one of Jack Ma video, when he said that there is where you have challenges that you have opportunities, or where you have problems is where you have opportunities. And then he then further said that of the challenges you have should be your number one motivation. And that are cut across wherever we're joining us from, right? If it's from Kigali, if it's from um Nairobi, if it's from Lagos, Abuja, whatever challenge that you have in your industry should be like the motivating factor for you, should be your motivation. And maybe not even the industry, your family, in your country, in your life, that should be a motivation to just get it better, right? So thank you very much. And I think Miracle, you are set. Let's just have you. Thank you. You need to grant Miracle like a co-host.
Okay, yes. Think I'm in now.
Okay. I think you need to just grant him like a co-host also, because he has two devices. I don't know. The one that has REE is the one that is using. Okay, go ahead, please. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Essen, for that very insightful brief with everyone. And I'm sure that we were able to pick some things from what he has said. And also, the word of today that he made mention of is exactly what we're also going to be looking into today, which is you cannot control what you cannot see. And this brings us to the introduction to energy monitoring, why energy monitoring is very, very important in facilities, and what we can achieve if we're able to properly monitor the energy in a particular facility. So I'm going to be moving to the next slide, and I would love to have someone read that next slide for us. So why energy monitoring matters. I would love to get volunteers to read this slide for us. Okay, Mr. Ajibola Phillips. You can unmute.
Okay, thank you. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. Why energy monitoring matters. Energy monitoring is the foundation of effective energy management. Without monitoring, energy usage remains invisible and decisions are based on assumptions rather than facts. Many facilities operate daily without knowing how much energy they consume, when they consume it, or where it is being used most. This lack of visibility creates a situation where waste continues unchecked and costs remain high. Monitoring provides clarity. It transforms energy from an abstract concept into measurable data. When energy usage is tracked, patterns begin to emerge: peak periods, idle periods, unusual spikes, and inefficiencies. These insights enable better decision-making and targeted interventions.
Okay, can I quickly call on Mr. Olota? I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, to just briefly explain what Mr. Ajibola read to us.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and good morning, our facilitators. Basically is just trying to talk about the three pointers or three major factors in facility management, which we have been taught in earlier weeks about measuring, monitoring, and managing. And monitoring, in essence, the summary of the whole of this slide is about data actually helps us be able to plan, be able to check wastages, be able to basically that, be able to plan, check wastages, and without adequate data, we have not started. Is the situation of Nigeria. Our there's no population commission, what is called statistics on the number of Nigerians. We are not even sure of it. So how can we even plan for the population? So that's basically what this is trying to tell us. To check wastages, check eliminating efficiencies and all that. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Olota. That's actually a beautiful explanation. The goal of energy monitoring is to be able to manage energy and not just manage, but also control, right? And you cannot really control what you cannot see. So energy monitoring gives visibility, gives data on how energy is being consumed. And now with this data, you can get the informations that you need to make the decisions that you need in your facilities. And now energy is not in many facilities, energies are not being used, especially to the most of its effects. That's why, for instance, a generator might not be working at its full capacity due to certain issues revolving maybe leakages or certain inefficiencies within that facility. And at the end of the day, you might even get a generator that is overloaded, but then you're not powering as much as the things that you want to power. But energy monitoring helps you to keep track and discover these loopholes that are making it very, very hard for you to manage your energy. I want to quickly ask that why is it important? Why is energy monitoring important in our facilities? I would love to see many hands up. Okay, real quick, Mr. Jibola.
I'll just mention one aspect of it, and that is due to the economic situation of the country, we need to save costs. So it's important to monitor our energy. Very, very important to cost.
Okay, thank you very much. I think Mr. Olota was raising his hands up earlier. Do you want to say something?
Yes, it helps us. It helps us be able to predict also precisely.
Okay, okay, that's beautiful. I can also see on the group chats, yeah. Some people said to check and control wastage, yes. Cost saving. Okay, it helps to keep cost. Okay, cost of, I don't get this. Okay, in order to avoid waste, it increases profitability as cost. Okay, okay, these are all correct questions. Let's take Mr. Olushola.
Yes, sir. To guide against them.
Yes, yes, that is also
Can you hear me,
a
sir?
very good angle. Yes,
I said to guide against theft.
yes, yes, that is also a very good angle to guide against theft. Okay, I'm seeing some hands raised up. You still want to say something, Mr. Ajibola?
Yeah, yes, please. Another aspect of it is it helps us in budgeting.
Okay. Can you elaborate more on that? Mr. Ajibola, can you elaborate more on that for us? Okay. So I think we've all given correct answers to save cost, to cut down wastage, to eliminate theft, to budget as well. Yeah, so energy monitoring helps us to achieve a very efficient facility when it comes to energy distribution, right? So we should move quickly to the problem we're going to be facing if we did not have any form of monitoring in our facility. So can I call on Mr. Olota to read for us?
All right, sir. All right. The problem without monitoring. When energy is not monitored, facilities operate blindly. Decisions are based on assumptions rather than evidence. Generators may run longer than needed. Diesel may be consumed inefficiently, and electricity bills may increase without clear explanation. This leads to reactive management. Instead of preventing problems, organizations only respond after costs have already increased. This reactive approach is inefficient and expensive.
Okay, can you briefly explain what this means in essence?
We have reactive and proactive management, so to speak. And in this scenario, for proactive kind of monitoring measure, we can forecast with adequate data, like the budgeting that was mentioned earlier, budgeting and planning. We can plan, we know our consumption, we know when to stock, we know when to restock, we know how not to overstock. But now when crisis now occur, reactive measure approach is inefficient, and the expensive part of it is it costs us a lot. For instance, we have a downtime when we have an event. If you call a generator man, he already knows you are dismissing. So whatever it tells you, he will do. Apart from other things that's going to cost the system, it's going to cost you a lot of cost you stress, cost everything. It can even cause fight among staff. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Olota. That was very insightful. So beyond the issues of being expensive and inefficient, when looking at also maybe infusing a secondary power source, maybe solar systems in your facility, you're thinking of bringing in solar system into your facility, but you don't even know what you use in your facility. That makes it very, very hard for you to properly size a solar system that would work well for your facility. And so this leads me to question 2, which is, what problems arise when energy is not monitored? Or let me say, as professionals that we are, professional facility managers, what are the issues personally we've been able to, we faced when energy is not monitored? Or what are the stories we've heard, about certain facilities that their energy is not monitored? I would love to see some hands. Okay, Mr. Isaac has something to say.
All right. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes,
Hello.
please go ahead.
Okay. So when energy is not monitored, one of the problems faced is indecision. Because there are sometimes you be expected to take some drastic decisions for maybe in the management level or whatever. But since it is not monitored, you won't be able to take decisions. There's some information they will demand from you, which you won't be able to provide. So these are one of the problems that are faced when energy is not monitored.
Okay, thank you very much. Not being able to make decisions because you're basically working in the blind. You don't know what you use in the morning, you don't know what you use in the afternoon. Okay, Mr. Olushola.
Yes, sir. One of the problems that arises when energy is not monitored is that it increases energy cost, number one, because you won't be able to detect where there is waste or as rightly said, you won't be able to monitor what you are being used. So it increases energy cost. Then also, it leads to inability to detect faults early at the earlier stage.
Mm. Okay, thank you so much for that. It increases costs, definitely. If you don't know how, even for people that make use of prepaid meters in their homes, right? Without proper energy management, at the end of the day, you end up paying more, right, for your bill. So someone else is raising their hands. Okay.
Yes, so let me speak on something. Thank you very much, Miracle. So basically, when we say we want to monitor energy and things like that, a lot of facility managers do not really take it seriously. It's true that sometimes some facility manager have for some facility managers have some monitoring measures. For example, they have logbooks where they put up the record like from the generator display, the load percentage, the kilowatt energy used from generator. They have also maybe logbook where they get a monthly bill from the grid, from the EKDC or Ikeja Electric or Ibadan or whatever the disco is. They have logs where they log in how many hours the grid or NEPA is available, how many hours generator was
Yeah.
run, right? But now there is a challenge with that because it's not just having those data. So I'll give an instance, right? We've been to facilities where because they feel they are monitoring, right? But what they just have is just the logbook where they just put that information without making use of it, and it caused them a lot of problems, including cost. Now, an instance is a facility that has two generators. It has a generator that is 600 kVA and it has a generator that is 1000. And then because of the load, right? The generator will either come up or go off depending on the load that the facility is consuming. Now, because of the fact that the facility management is not monitoring, what do happen is a case where the guys in the power room, in fact, some of the facilities, they just have the security being the one even putting on and putting off the gen. But the guys in the power room, number one, put on the generator when you even have low occupants, right? When you have low occupants, that generator is running, it's costing you more. Why? Because as a facility manager or a management company, you don't have a dashboard where you can see. You don't have a trigger point that tells you this is the load that is consuming and this is generator that is coming up and this is the diesel that you are spending, right? That's number one. Number two is monitoring is not only on seeing how much energy I am consuming. We did something for a bank, right? Some years back. We just monitoring how long your generator is running, and also if your generator is running and there is NEPA or grid available, and generator is still running, sending an escalation, we're able to save per location, right? 3,000 liters of diesel per location per month. Just telling me generator is still running for an extra 20 minutes, but grid has been restored. In fact, for one of the location, because we were monitoring this data, right? Generator was still running, but grid was available. They brought NEPA lights, and we had to call the guy that is supposed to um, put put off the generator at the night. And what we got is that he's sleeping. right? But then is sleeping is costing that community or that estate a lot of money. In fact, that generator ran before we escalated for extra 40 minutes before it was put off. So these are some of the challenges, especially on monitoring, and that also affects other parts like my maintenance, because if my generator runs for longer time than it's supposed to run, it means my maintenance period will be shorter. My equipment will be failing and wearing and failing, more on time, right? And other things, associated things that is involved. And that is number one. Number two, also, the challenge I also see that arise when energy is not being monitored is that we cannot even manage. So, for example, a case of the EKDC is bringing up a bill, right? And then we are not able to collect that bill. Now, on one hand, is we do not even know where the losses are going. Now, I give a case also for a community in Delta State. In Delta State, in fact, Miracle was there some weeks back. They have a central bulk meter, but at the end of the month, their cumulative consumption is not equal to how much they are vending or how much the meter is recording. And what we told them is you need to monitor. With a simple monitor, in fact, not even using a tool, we told them, not even using a tool at this point, knowing the total usage which you can get from each of the meter every month, right? And then benchmarking it with what I have, right, from my bulk meter, I can know where I'm getting most of my losses. That's number one. Number two, there's what we call grouping. We told them, because for example, if we have blocks, block A, block B, block B, block C, block D, right, is feeding from one central transformer, we can group block A together and put a check meter, a bulk meter there to tell me what is block A reading, what is block B reading as a bulk, and that 4 meter, what is their total consumption. Now, what is benchmarking it, right, with what we have in our bulk meter gives us, with technical losses and things, will give us if there are any issues. So basically, just to summarize what I'm just trying to say is, without monitoring, we'll lose money, we'll spend more on maintenance, we'll have problems in our community, which is chaos, right? We'll lose our job and a lot. And some persons are asking what are the tools needed, right? For example, we have what we call the digital logger, right? Digital logger is as simple as between 200K, you can get the digital logger from us. And with that digital logger, you can log how many hours your generator is on, how many hours your grid is on. And we are putting up a logic that will tell you, that will escalate to you when generator is on and your diesel, your grid is available. That's number one. Number two is we then have the energy benchmark. The energy benchmark is now benchmarking. So when we say benchmark, there's a standard, right, that we set, right, a reference point. We're now benchmarking or referencing, for example, your load with the generator that is on. So if, for example, my load is 15% and the generator is on, it tells me and also advise me on what to do. That's number one. Number two, on benchmarking, we do what we call clusters, which is very important. A lot of estate and community and commercial places are having issues with their energy. There's no visibility. They're having losses. And one of the reasons is because they are not doing cluster metering. And cluster metering is to say a group of meter clustered together makes one, and we have a one point of reference. And at the end of the month, we have 5 meters, which is the main meter that is clustered into individual meter. When we bring those 5 meters together and we add it together, plus or minus technical losses, right? It should be equal to the main meter. Now, when we now take the cluster meter, which is the one with the individual meters, right? It must align plus or minus technical losses. If it doesn't align, it tells us which of the cluster is costing us most of our energy losses, right? And something like that. So basically, as the class goes, I'll come in and chip in some of all these things that would benefit us in our facility and in our operation and ensure that we have smooth operation along the way. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Essien. So Mr. Essien is giving us some devices actually, because we're not just teaching about energy monitoring, we're also giving information and solution on devices that can help you achieve this energy monitoring and energy management, right, in your facility. Thank you so much. So let's move to the next slide real quick. So what energy monitoring tracks? What energy monitoring tracks? Can we have a female? Can we have a female read for us? Can we have a female read for us real quick? Or should I call on names? Okay, I'm seeing one Mercy Udain. Mercy Udain. Please unmute yourself and read for us. Okay, how about Chidima? Chidima, can you read for us real quick? Okay. Uh, Mr. Olota, would you like to continue the reading for us?
Okay. What energy monitoring tracks? Energy monitoring involves tracking key parameters such as fuel usage, operating hours, load levels, and energy consumption. These data points provide insight into how energy is being used and where inefficiencies exist. Tracking generator hours helps identify unnecessary runtime. Monitoring fuel usage reveals patterns and potential losses. Measuring load ensures efficient operation.
Thank you very much. So this, just like Mr. SN have said, right? When it comes to energy monitoring, right, this is what it involves. Tracking diesel usage, tracking operating hours, and load levels, right? And he went on to further state that there are devices, right, that can help with this tracking, that can also give certain triggers and alarms. You don't have to be there to monitor or do any form of manual logging, just for the essence of monitoring your energy. So there are devices in place that can help us achieve energy monitoring, right? So the question now is, what key data should be monitored? What are the key data in your facility? Say you have these devices in place. What are the key data you would like to monitor in your facility, or what do you think are the key data that should be monitored in every facility? Mr. Isaac, would you like to say something? Okay. Mr. Olota said kilowatt per hour usage. Okay, I would like for you to elaborate more on that, but real quick, let's hear from Mr. Malik. Mr. Malik, you can unmute yourself.
Sorry, so sorry. I was just talking. I thought I was.
Okay.
So the key data that should be monitored is the running hour or the hours of usage. If we are on a public supply or generator, then we need to know our load variations as well.
Okay, so monitoring your runtime of your generator, what would that help you achieve?
It's going to give us precise data of, okay, if we are using so type. Once you keep monitoring, it will give you an average usage of your energy.
Okay. So it helps you know your average diesel consumption.
Consumption.
Yeah. Please go ahead.
Okay. Then if it is a power supply, it helps you to monitor the units you've been able to consume. Then it will help you to plan ahead for subsequent expenses to be run. It helps in planning generally.
Okay, thank you so much. Mr. Olota, I would like for you to quickly talk more about your comments.
Oh, okay. For me, it helps me to know when the system is due for servicing because it has the number of maybe per every 200 kilowatt per hour. When it gets to that, it's due for servicing. So it helps us to. This is part of the preemptive measures. It also helps in identifying high usage of the appliances, verify utility bills in time when it comes to raw power, and optimize the energy cost. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Would anyone like to add to what they've said? Okay, let's quickly move to the next slide. Okay, let us read this case study. Can someone read this case study for us? Okay, initially, Chidima said she was finding it hard to unmute herself. Let's try again, Chidima. How about now? Please, can you help out? I think Chidima is finding it hard to unmute. Okay, because of time, let me call on Engineer Peter at TV to read the case study for us. Engineer Peter, can you unmute yourself?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah. All right. The case study says a facility noticed that the diesel consumption has increased over the past 3 months. However, there is no record of daily usage, generator hours, or load patterns. Management suspects theft but there is no evidence. Question 1. What is the real problem here?
Okay,
2.
can you answer that first question, Engineer Peter? Can you answer the first question?
Yeah, the real problem is basically because you are not keeping record of anything. You don't know what you are consuming. You don't know when you are saving, when you are wasting diesel. You don't know when you are utilizing the diesel effectively and all that. No hour log for the generator. Even there might be possibility that the generator is even oversized or probably undersized. So a lot of parameters are wrong here that are not being taken into consideration. So as far as that is not done, you don't get the parameters measured. You are not doing properly. So that aside, you cannot from there start thinking that theft actually happened. Even if theft is happening, you cannot pin it. You won't be able to know exactly what volume of diesel is being stolen. But if you have a system that you can monitor and you can you can monitor and you can keep a data of what is being consumed per hour for your generator and how many hours is being run and all that, you can be able to know if theft actually occur or not. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. Who else wants to add to what he has said or answer the next question? Malik, I can see that your hands is raised up.
Yeah. Apart from the log, we need to check in our preventive or corrective maintenance on that generator to do a checklist on parts on the generator and know the parts that are due for service or replacement. For instance, if the injector is malfunctioning or the valves are not functioning well, are not distributing the fuel distribution, the fuel line is having issue, we will not be able to ascertain if the excesses or the consumption, the increase in consumption is from all these parameters. So we need to figure out all our generator parts that need to work with the consumption of diesel. By the time we ascertain that they are all they are functional, that's when we can look into the theft issue. Then proper record keeping of diesel supply, usage, and so on. It's still part of the problem that needs to be sorted before the issue of theft can be raised.
All right, thank you so much. The next question here is what data is missing? I think we can see that from the case study. Which of the data is missing, or what are the data that are missing?
So for me, the data that I'm missing is there's no record of daily usage. The generator running hour is not being taken notes of. Our load distributions, our load consumption on the generator is not being ascertained. Maybe, for instance, an office that has 10 ACs. So how many ACs were put on for that period of time that there's increased? Or is there any decrease in their load consumption? So those are the things they need to put in place to know, okay, there is a theft or there's a problem somewhere. So part of the data that I'm missing is the daily usage, generator running hour, then the load patterns from the analysis, from the case study.
All right, thank you so much. Solata said daily consumption. Let's quickly hear from Mr. Adeola.
Okay, for me, energy monitoring data is missing. We need to monitor. They didn't monitor how much of diesel has been spent or have been consumed in the last 3 months. So there's no record of daily usage. So for that, the data missing is energy monitoring data.
Okay. As someone that would like to resolve this particular issue, what is something you would start with? Mr. Adela.
Okay, as someone that would like to resolve this issue, the first thing I'm going to start with, because now there have not been any record, and so I would need to start keeping the record, observe the records of diesel consumption. I would need to start with that. That might be the first thing to start taking the record, because if there was no record, there was no way we can resolve the diesel that has been consumed in the last 3 months, because we don't even know what was consumed, the volume consumed, and how we are going to handle it. So the first thing is we need to put a record in place, which we need to monitor the diesel consumed.
Okay, which is all about data at the end of the day. Thank you so much, Mr. Adela. So let's quickly hear from Mr. Kingsley.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, the problem here, in order to resolve this, I think from the supply of the diesel at first, there need to be data taken in. You understand? Though the company may think that there is theft, but from what the supplier of the diesel supplied, I think the facility manager needs to know what's the liter that has been supplied, or the supply that was made currently. Is it that there's shortage in it, or what? That's the first thing that the facility manager needs to take note of. Then secondly, to resolve that, I think there needs to be record of every equipment that is in that organization. Talking about the fans, the ACs, the TVs and all that. So that when generator is put on a daily basis, it could be for 4 hours, 5 hours. Record keeping will help to know, okay, today being Monday, we're able to consume 10 liters of diesel being used from so time to so time. So in a nutshell, if data is taken properly by the facility manager, I think justice will be done to the amount of daily consumption of diesel being used. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. The insight from this basically is the biggest problem is not theft. It is lack of data. So I'm going to unmute for Mr. Ajibola, but because of time, let us quickly go to the next slide. Please read the next slide for us.
Sorry, please chip in one point from the other slide. Just a point.
Okay. Okay, real quick.
Yeah, thank you very much. Another thing. Okay. Hello.
Yes, I think you have some noise in your background.
Okay, no, maybe some microphones are on.
Okay, you can go ahead now.
Okay, thank you. So another point from experience, though I don't know if someone has mentioned, but my network was bad, is this. Sometimes what really affects that we need to take note of this data is sometimes there are some, we normally have increments in from a raw source. We've had a situation whereby there was increment in our token. That's from raw source. Before we were using, let me say, like 100 and something naira per unit, but now it's now 200 and something naira per unit. So if that happens, you know that as you have to run more on diesel. If there are issues, they will be looking at why is this one increasing? So as we are keeping data for our diesel consumption, we have to keep data for raw source too. So that if there is increment in what we are spending monthly, then we'll know where the issue is coming. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Quickly, before you go, quickly read this slide for us.
Okay. Types of monitoring systems. Energy monitoring can be done manually or digitally. Manual methods include logbooks and spreadsheets, while digital systems use sensors and software for real-time tracking. Manual systems are low cost, but are prone to logbook padding, where operators write down what should have happened rather than what actually happened. Digital systems provide a single source of truth. They eliminate human error and provide instant alerts. However, the most important factor is consistency. Whether using a pen or a sensor, the data must be recorded at regular intervals to be useful for analysis.
Thank you very much. This further goes to prove the point, right, and reason for digital systems, because manual methods are, prone to a lot of human error. And I think in one of Mr. Essien's insights, he made mention of a particular facility where they had the security person putting on and off the generator, and the gen was on for some time, whereas there was NEPA. But from the dashboard, you could see that NEPA is on, but then the generator is still on. So they had to call the facility to tell the person in charge to put off the generator. So digital systems that are embedded with sensors, right, and software for real-time tracking, helps to eliminate human error and provide instant alerts. If you're running on generator, immediately grid comes up, you get an alert, and then you turn off the generator. So very, very quickly, what is the primary risk of relying solely on manual monitoring? What are the risks involved when we rely solely on manual monitoring? Okay, Mr. Kolawole.
Okay, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
1 minute, sir. Yeah, real quick, we can hear you. 1 minute.
All right, sir. So it's prone to human error. So it's prone to the fact that even when maybe there was a security guy that was supposed to record the diesel, and then maybe he can't really get, okay, he has turned on the diesel, he has turned on the generator around 12 a.m. and he didn't write it. So as soon as they brought the light, what time did I put it on? So it's really prone to human error based on the fact it's prone to inconsistency on the part of those who are logging it. So you get, because most times they could just be, I didn't remember when I turned it off, or NEPA is available and you've not gone there to change it. So some of those errors are prone. If there is a sudden spark or there's something that happens that you cannot use your ordinary eyes to see, the digital system will be able to tell you that this load has suddenly increased at 2 a.m., which human error we might not be able to get that factors out. So it's prone to human error, inconsistency, and sensors are really more reliable.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Mr. Adedeji, real quickly. Mr. Adedeji, you can unmute yourself. Okay, Mr. Victor wanted to say something. Mr. Victor had your hand raised up. Okay.
Good afternoon, sir.
Okay, good afternoon.
Okay, so the primary risk of relying solely on manual, I think manipulation of data, that most times data can be manipulated during the process of writing those data. And aside that, I think inconsistency as well can also be of the parts where can form a primary risk of relying on solely on the manual monitoring. I think those are the two things.
Yeah, thank you very much. Manipulation is also a very big risk, solely relying on manual monitoring. Okay, real quickly, Victor.
No, what I wanted to say, Adedeji captured everything, so that's why I dropped my hand.
Oh, okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. Mr. Adedeji, since your hands is still raised, quickly read the next slide for us.
Okay. The limits of massive data, having data is not enough. The data must be organized. A facility that writes fuel levels on random scraps of data is essentially in the same position as a facility with no data at all. The disorganized data cannot be analyzed for trends, and trends are where the savings are hidden. When data is structured, it becomes a strategic tool. It allows you to compare this Monday performance to last Monday's performance. Without organization, you are just collecting paper, not insights.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Our data must be organized. A facility that writes fuel levels on random scraps of paper is essentially in the same position as a facility with no data at all. But structured data helps us to organize our data in a format that can be easily stored, easily searched, and analyzed. Let's quickly move to our question. How does structured data differ from just taking notes? We just said this in our last slide. How does structured data differ from taking notes? Okay, Mr. Adiola.
Okay, thanks so much, Mr. Mariko. So structured data differ from just taking note because you could compare the data resources and use it to analyze and strategize your energy consumption and diesel and the management. So structured data is far more important than taking notes because of the importance of analysis and comparison of energy consumption. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Malik. Mr. Malik, you can unmute yourself.
So, how does structured data differ from just taking notes?
Yeah, very quickly, 1 minute, please.
Structured data always have a trend. Then it's always been organized in such a way that everybody can read and understand the data easily. And taking notes can be taken as a rough sketch whereby it can be mutilated, and apart from the person that takes that note, every other person might not be able to read or decode what that data is trying to insinuate or trying to explain. So the difference is being organized and having the trend to follow.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for that. Very quickly, Mr. Kolawole, very quickly.
All right, sir. So I just wanted to include that structured data, they have patterns of record. They have details of what to be right or details of what to be recorded. This is what you are writing, the date, the startup diesel, the close diesel, the running hours, and stuff like that. So there's already a pattern, there's already a details of what should be written, not like a note that you can just write anything. You understand now, when you can start writing stories. But in the structured data, they've already given you a pattern of this is what we expected you to record. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let us quickly hear from Mr. Victor, very quickly.
Okay, I would say structured data differ, and it's better because even in your absence, it could be easily read and understood. And if you have to make any presentation, it is easily understood even in your absence.
Thank you very much. Okay, Mr. Ajibola.
So imagine me bringing 30 pieces of papers when we carry out year in, year out data, in budget, sorry. So, but when we have a structured data, it should be very easy to know how much did you spend last year on diesel, on consumption and other things. Then to know, should we increase or should we decrease budget for the next year? So you need to learn for budget structured data.
Thank you very much. And it also helps to easily filter, right? You want to know the data for last month, this so date last month. You can easily get that data for that particular day. Okay. You can mute yourself, Mr. SN.
So I just wanted to briefly show how structured data can help, right? With one of the systems that we built just for this class. So let me just share that now. Right. So basically, I don't know, can you see my screen? Can you see my screen?
Okay, yes, we can see
Okay.
yes.
Yeah. So basically, I mean, these are sites, this is Ibotech dashboard of how we work or help utilities, right? And this is just like a site that we're doing energy monitoring for. Now, but what I just wanted to show you is on this point, which is called the smart metering and losses, right? Now, from this point, we're able to see the primary feeder coming in, the total energy usage for the transformer for this month so far, and the cumulative, supposed to slide, the cumulative energy used, right, from all the meters. And then we also have these nodes that tells us which meters is on bypass, which meter is active, which meter is an industrial meter, and things like that. We have something for diesel. I think maybe along the line, Miracle would present that. But basically, when we say structured data, it's a data like someone explained that can be easily interpreted. And then, apart from that, we can easily find out where we have problems, where we have challenges, where we have losses, and things like that. So, it's just also to reiterate the fact that as at Ibotech, we need collaborators, right? We want to collaborate with a lot of you guys that are on this call to see how we can work together. We're also willing to even do give, and I think please note, 2 facility managers here, an uptime downtime sensor, right? Willing to work with us. We'll deploy it, we'll show you how to deploy it, and then so that you start seeing we are moving from just theory to practical. And also, we can deploy our dashboard for you, where you get to see your meter notes, you get to see which of the meter has problem, which is on bypass, the total energy being used. You get to get alerts. We have our predictive engines and everything, right? So we're ready to work with you in your journey as a facility management. So it's not just we coming here to speak theory. If we had been doing it in the class, would have also done some physical class, which along the line we are still speaking along with Mr. Dr. Ife to see how we can integrate, right, a physical live car which will be paid for us to do some of these tests and pilots, and and move from just we speaking. We all know what to do, But now moving to more practical session and how we can implement this. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Essien. As we can all see, we are not just teaching, we are showing you, right? We're bringing solutions to you. Okay, let's continue. Okay, I'm bringing up my screen now. Okay, so moving on to the next slide, real-time monitoring. I really want a female to read for us. Please, can you help us find a female to read for us? I was seeing one Mercy. I was seeing Mercy. Okay, Mary, can you read for us? Mary Isaiah. Mary Isaiah, can you unmute yourself? Okay, seems like the female in our circle, they're a bit cold today. Okay, Victor, let's go
Okay,
ahead.
I'm here. Good
Oh,
afternoon.
okay, Mary.
I was in a noisy environment, so I had to step out a bit.
Oh, okay. Good to have you.
Real-time monitoring. Real-time monitoring provides immediate visibility into energy usage. It allows quick response to unusual changes and prevents waste. Instead of waiting for a monthly bill to realize there is a leak or a machine was left on, real-time system alerts you the moment it happens. This immediacy immediately changes the culture of a facility. It moves the team from being bill payers to being energy optimizers. It gives you the power to stop a loss while it is happening, rather than mourning the costs 30 days later.
Thank you very much. Real-time monitoring is a very proactive measure. Aside from logging data, how about seeing what is happening right now? How about you being able to keep track of what is going on with your generator at the moment, with your diesel level, with the load pattern in your facility? That is what real-time monitoring does. It provides immediate visibility into your energy infrastructure. And this is going to lead us to question 6, which is, what is the biggest financial advantage of real-time monitoring? What is the biggest financial advantage? If you can see your diesel being refilled right now in real time, how do you think that can contribute financially to your facility? Okay, Mr. Olota.
I think it helps to immediate response, and the responsiveness is immediately, not morning at the end of the month or at the end of the day. I mean, it prompts what is actually going on. We also do that also with data monitoring. When we just notice usage of data, you can see every IP address, and you see if somebody is downloading what they are not supposed to download. Like some people want to download films with Office facility. Once you see that, you immediately respond by blocking that site. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Okay, Mr. Victor.
Okay, to add, I would say that one of the biggest financial advantage is like the popular Nigerian adage that prevention is better than cure. You might not know how much you have saved yourself of what would have come in front of you if you had not put such measures in place to safeguard losses. So I think it's more of saving for the establishment when you put real-time monitoring in check. Like the last slide, the person that read it, what you had on the last slide, I like the concluding line, which talked about, I think 30 days, talked about what you'd have saved yourself from 30 days saying, had I known. So that's what I think is one of the biggest financial advantage of real-time monitoring.
Thank you very, very much. Mr. Malik.
Yeah, real-time monitoring. I think it blocks excesses.
Okay.
One of the biggest advantage, financial advantages, to block excesses.
Okay. Thank you for that. Mr. Abayomi.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
The real-time monitoring helps to know if because if there are excess of load that are actually not needed at some point that are on, you would know if in the rate of which the consumption of the diesel generator works, it will help you to know that, oh, this load is too much. Maybe that's why we're having more consumption, and then you can know the load to reduce or normalize. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much for that. I think Mr. Abiodun also said such measure stop a loss as soon as they are occurring, which is a very proactive measure. Mr. Victor, do you want to add something? I think your hands are still raised up. Mr. Victor, are you with us?
No, I'm sorry. I have not taken down the hand. That's why.
Okay, you can read case study 2 for us.
Okay, case study 2. A cold storage facility has an automated digital monitoring system. The data shows that every night at 3 a.m., energy consumption spikes by 40% for exactly 2 hours, even though the compressors are supposed to be in eco mode. And the doors are locked. The manual logbook signed by the night guard shows normal operation. Why is there a conflict between the logbook and the digital data?
Okay, can you answer that question for us?
Okay, I would say that if the energy spikes by 40% for 2 hours and they're supposed to be in eco mode and the doors are locked, sorry, I'm trying to really get the exact scenario.
Yeah. So it is saying, why is there a conflict between the logbook and the digital data? Because digital data is saying, oh, by 3 a.m., there's a spike, right? 40%,
Yes.
right? For exactly 2 hours. But then the manual logbook, which is,
Okay.
which is being logged by the guards,
Okay.
is normal.
Okay, I would say from this scenario, I would say that the reason for the disparity in both sources is from the night guard. The night guard, from what the scenario says, the night guard is the one that is in charge of the manual logbook. So I feel that there were some areas that he was not on his duty and he did some guesswork and he recorded what did not happen or what happened much later than it happened.
Thank you very much. Mr. Olota.
Yes, sir. I have to even move away from where I was to transfer to this one. It's very, very possible that some games are happening. There was in the past, one of our factories, we just discovered people were tapping lights or people were giving people light to use under us. So that could be happening between those 2 hours. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. And I think what you said might have just answered the second question, which is what technical or behavioral issue could cause a 40% spike during a low activity period, which might have been that maybe maybe you have other people that are tapped to that particular power, which might cause a spike in the energy consumption. For question 1, the conflict between the logbook and digital data is basically one of them is wrong, right? And as we already know that manual logging comes with a lot of human errors. Maybe the night guard fell asleep and forgot, to, log that particular instance as it's happening, or maybe, when it's happening, he's asleep or he was away from the site. So definitely the manual logbook is wrong, whereas the digital system is giving an accurate data and saying, look, 3 a.m. every day, we face a 40% spike for exactly 2 hours. And it might not just be theft or someone tapping. It might actually be maybe the system is getting too old, right? Old system leads to inefficiencies. They draw more power to do the same work, which might actually spike, which might cause a 40% spike for 2 hours, right? So the third question here is, if you only had manual logs, would you ever find this? This is just a simple question, a yes or no question. If you only had manual logs, would you ever find this? Okay. Mr. Kolawole. Okay,
If you have a manual login, you can never find it. And then what I wanted to, can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Okay, so what I wanted to add was just exactly the same thing we're explaining. There could be a problem with the thermostat, because when something is an eco mode, you're expecting that, okay, it has achieved the agreed temperature. So you understand, it just works and just a normal. So if there's a problem with the thermostat, it can start up the compressor from start again. Somebody can just went there and just open the door or the window. So you understand? So the temperature changes and it can start up again, drawing large amount of current. So if there is a manual record, you can never find something like that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Abayomi.
To the question 3, sir, no. I'm with you, sir. To the answer to the question is no. If we had only manual logs, we wouldn't find that error.
Thank you very much. I can also see on the comment section that a lot of people are saying no. I think, yeah. So that's the correct answer to this question. You might most likely never find out about this. So the insight from this is data exposes the truth that people may hide or miss. Now let's move to identifying patterns, right? So let's have someone read this page for us. Mr. Malik, can you read this page for us? You can mute yourself.
Identifying patterns. Monitoring helps identify patterns such as peak usage, idle periods, and inefficiencies. Pattern provides insight into behavior and system performance. If a generator is consistently underloaded, running at less than 30% capacity during the night, the pattern tells you that you are wasting fuel to keep a massive engine spinning for a tiny load. Understanding this Understanding this circle allows you to schedule every task during times of high efficiency and shut down system during idle periods.
Okay, thank you very much. Before you go, now quickly help us with this question. How do patterns help you choose the right equipment size?
The patterns will help you to know when you need to load your facility. You know when, you know your peak period, you know your idle period. So these are your patterns. So it will help you to choose rightly for each equipment you want to use or the size of equipment you want to use.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that. I always would like to add to Mr. Malik. I think we should also give reference to the example that was stated for the generator that usually runs about 30% at night, right? How can we use that particular reference to answer this question? So how do patterns help you choose the right equipment size? Okay, Mr. Olota.
For me, I just want to state my own case. What happens is when there's a particular time when people have left the office, some people work later. So instead of running on generator or running on NEPA, we just go alternative, clean power. So then in the morning, we still remain on clean power till like maybe 8 or 9 o'clock. But if there's a need to pump water from the pumping machine, because the pumping machine is not connected to clean power, we might just on the generator or NEPA. So we just try to work with that pattern.
Thank you very much. That is a very good answer. Okay, Engineer Peter.
All right, good afternoon. Thank you once again. Yeah, you said how does the pattern help you to choose the right equipment side? And we actually made mention of a generator right now. For instance, you said something, you asked a question just now that if the generator happened to be running on 30% load at night or at a particular time. Well, the truth is that we could approach it from two different ways. Now, you could have two different types of generator synchronized together. Probably one stay idle. And at the point where you are running at a lower, at about 30% of your original generator. I don't know what size of that generator now. Now, you could pick a generator that is the equivalent of that your 30%, which you need at that time. So that generator runs at that time if you must run generator. Otherwise, you could go for any alternative source of energy too, like your power bank and all that could come into play at that point. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Those are wonderful and brilliant questions and answers to this question. Let's quickly, because of time, right? Let's move to our next slide. So who would read this for us? Monitoring and costs control. Monitoring and cost control. Okay, Mr. Peter Manuel.
Good afternoon, everyone. Monitoring and cost control. Monitoring enables cost control by identifying energy leaks. An energy leak can be physical issue, like a diesel leak, or an operational issue, like running an AC in an empty room. It allows informed decision-making regarding maintenance and upgrades. When you know exactly how many liters of fuel it takes to produce 1 unit of product, you can accurately price your goods and protect your profit margins. Cost control is not about spending less. It is about eliminating waste to increase value.
Thank you very much, Mr. Peter. Before you go, can you give us an answer to this question? How does knowing your fuel per unit help a business stay profitable?
From my own little observation, knowing your fuel per unit will actually help your business to stay in profit when you calculate accurately. When you monitor your fuel gauge and then the amount of fuel or diesel that has been put in place, then you monitor and regulate your consumption based on the facilities you are running on. You have to know the quantity that you are putting in place and also the rate or the facility the fuel can be able to carry. By monitoring and knowing ascertaining all of this data, then you now know how you can run them for your business to actually stay in profit.
Thank you very much for that answer. Who else would like to add to what Mr. Peter said? Okay, Mr. Abayomi.
Good afternoon once again.
Hello.
To know the fuel per unit helps a business stay profitable in the sense that we all know that the total cost of goods plus a particular profit margin gives us the selling price. Now, if the fuel per unit is noted and accurately measured or identified, it will be the total amount that the cost of production will be pegged at. So if the fuel per unit is not we are not able to account for it, it makes it difficult for us to know what the units of a particular cost on a product that the diesel have been used for. So knowing how the fuel is used per unit helps really for business to stay profitable. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. And I would also like to add by saying that I think based on statistics, overall businesses lose over $22 billion in due to fuel cost and powering their businesses. So knowing your fuel per unit can also help you know when it's time to get an alternative source of energy. Maybe you spend millions of naira a year, to fuel your generator and to run your business. You can maybe find out that at the end of the day, you can use that same amount of money to install a solar setup in your business, and that would help you cut down on your operational cost, right? So, Mr. Olota, you can add to this and then quickly read our next slide so you can unmute yourself.
Yes, sir. My factory, sometimes people come to one of the factories, so people come to process their boards in our factory. But at a particular analysis, we just found out it's not for you to just be jubilating that jobs have come. What is the quantity of the job? How many hours? How long? How much fuel are we going to use to do that? Does it make sense to use generators, or if they can wait, delay their job for NEPA to do that? And recently I went to make photocopies at the lady's place, and the woman was just asking me how many. There was no light. How many copies? She said, I told her just a few, 1 or 2 or 3 pages, and she said she won't be able to put on her generator. I told her I was going to pay for it, and she said it was not going. I felt it wasn't a smart business sense for her to just name. I was ready to pay anything. How much petrol do you even need? But she just took that decision and I walked away. That was our own business decision anyway. Thank you, sir. So
Thank you,
starting
sir.
sounds simple. Monitoring does not have to be complex or expensive at the start. Simple tracking of fuel usage and generator hours can provide 80% of the value. You do not need a $1 million dashboard to begin. A well-maintained logbook and a manager who actually reads it are enough to save thousands in the first month. The goal is to build a culture of measurement. Once the habit is there, the technology can be upgraded to more advanced sensors later.
Okay, thank you very much. So this is basically saying that although manual logging can have a lot of cons and downside, but then if it is done properly, then it can also, it can also be used to save thousands in the first month, right? So a well-maintained logbook and a manager, not a security guard, not someone who is just brought in to be there, but a manager that have an idea of what he's doing, who actually reads these logbooks, who logs it properly, is actually enough to save thousands in the first month, right? So the goal is to build a culture of measurement so that the habit is built in a foundation level, and then technology can now be brought in to make things more advanced and easier, for the long term. And this is going to bring us to our next question, which is, what is the first step you would take to start a monitoring program on a $0 budget? What is the first step you would take to start a monitoring program without any money, without any budgets? What is that one thing you would start with? Any hands? Okay. Mr. Malik.
Yeah, for me, from the last slide, taking a culture of measurement to every data taking is one of the starting measure one can take on a $0 budget.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, Mr. Ajibola.
Yeah, the first thing we need to begin with a well-maintained logbook. So then we can bring in a manager, so who will understand the issue of monitoring or the purpose of monitoring, who actually read. So if we can bring that in place, then later we can upgrade to other aspect of it.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Olotaro, quickly.
I just want to add that people, regardless of he that cannot manage little, when you have surplus, you are still go account for little, we still waste surplus when there's surplus. Now, people just acquire technology for acquiring sake. We get this data, what do we really do with them? Sometimes it's the same in a national scenario. We get all the data, look at the NI, we look at all this, and what do we really do with data? So I just wanted to check that. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. I see we are comparing a lot with how the government have been handling things. Okay, so let's go to this case study 3, which is our final case study for today. Mr. Olota, do you want to read for us? Yeah, this still up.
All right, so case study 3. A manufacturing plant runs 2 500 kVA generators in parallel. After implementing a simple monitoring sheet, the energy manager notices that the specific fuel consumption, liters per kilowatt hour, is 25% higher than the manufacturer's specs. The engines are healthy and no fuels being stolen. Questions. If the machines aren't broken and no one is stealing, why is the fuel consumption so high? 2, how
Okay,
would
Mr.
you
Olota,
presenter?
do you think you can just give us something based on this question?
I'm still trying to wrap my head around it.
Okay. So it's saying that a manufacturing plant runs two 500 kVA generators in parallel. After implementing a simple monitoring sheet, the energy manager notices that the specific fuel consumption, which is liters per hour, per kilowatt hour, that means how many liters is going to be consumed if the generator runs for a certain amount of hours on a particular capacity of load. So let's say the load of the generator at that moment is 25 kilowatts, and then it runs for, let's say, an hour. That's 25 kilowatt hour. So liters per kilowatt hour means how many liters was consumed when the generator was running 25 kilowatt hour, right? So it is saying that it is 25% higher than the manufacturer's specs, the specification that the manufacturer of the generator put. Maybe the manufacturer said that if the generator runs 25 kilowatt hour, it will only consume 10 liters. But then the energy manager found out that it's consuming 25% of that, let's say 35 liters per kilowatt hour. And the engines are healthy and no fuel is being stolen. So if the machines are not broken and no one is stealing, why is the fuel consumption so high? I hope I've been able to break that down. Okay, Engineer Peter wants to give us something.
All right. From this analysis, you cannot know a system that is LD by physical high. But basically, let me just attempt it from two different perspectives. One, it could be that generator at that point is underloaded, is under load. And when you put load in the generator and the load is grossly minimal or too small compared to what the generator is supposed to operate with, you are wasting the diesel. You are wasting the diesel. So that could happen. 2, it could be poor maintenance. The generator in itself may look very good, well, neat and all that. Probably somebody is cleaning it well and all that. How often is it being serviced? Or probably maybe overhaul was done at a particular time and all that. A lot of things in the generator would have undergone changes. So those are the 2 factors that I think basically could be responsible for that. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much for that. Mr. Ajibola.
For me, it sounds like a question. Why will I be running two 500 kVA generator in parallel? So why can't I just go for like maybe 800 or 1000 kVA, just one gen? So there must surely be difference in the fuel consumption, 2 generators to 1. So I'm just looking at it from that aspect too. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I think that would be like the closest answer to the question, right? Because I mean, running one of the major reason you would have the generator consuming high while running on lower loads is due to the fact that you're running on a lower load, right? Generators are more efficient when you're running 70 to 80% of its capacity. So why run two 500 kVA generators in parallel when what you're powering is not is not maybe up to 20 or 30% of that particular load, right? So number two would be, how would you reconfigure the operation based on this data? So how would you reconfigure this whole operation? You are running two 500 kVA generators in parallel, and you are running little load on it. So how would you reconfigure the operation based on this data? Okay, Mr. Ajibola.
Yeah, for me, I would prefer, surely for every let me say manufacturing plant, manufacturing company, there are sometimes who have a peak period and off-peak period when we run on more load and when we run on lower load. So it's better I have one high capacity generator, and when I'm off peak period, I run on the lower generator. So by that, I can save cost of fuel consumption.
Thank you very much. That's a brilliant question. So instead of having two big generators of the same size, why not have a big one for when you're running on peak demand, and a small one when you're running on just essential loads, right? So number three question will be, what is the financial cost of not knowing your specific fuel consumption? What are the financial implications of not knowing how much liters you consume per kilowatt hour? How would this affect your operation and cost overall? Okay, Sir Victor.
Well, the financial cost of not knowing specific fuel consumption, I think it's obvious. You spend more than you, like in this particular case scenario now, you will spend more than you even expected or budgeted for diesel or whatever you are using to run your generator. So that's one thing. So you need to know your specific fuel consumption.
Thank you very much. Mr. Olota. Mr. Olota, you can unmute yourself.
Yes, sir. To add to the prior speaker, is spending more basically, but it's just like using a hammer to kill a fly or mosquito. It's just waste of energy, waste of money, waste of everything. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. And so the insight from this is, high consumption doesn't always mean a leak, right? It often means a bad strategy. And, this is one of the importance of, we incorporating case study to the training, so that we can see how this plays out in real life. And I'm sure that some of the case studies that have been, mentioned here today might even be what we face in our facilities. And this is going to help us go back to our drawing board and look at the approaches that we can take and the strategies where we've been getting it wrong, and look at how we can implement this training to solve the problems, right? So very quickly to our last slide for today, which is the final insights. So anyone to read this for us? Can I call on Mr. Victor to take our final insights?
Okay, the final insights. Energy monitoring transforms energy management from guesswork into a structured, data-driven process. It provides visibility, control, and the ability to make better decisions. It is the bridge between spending money and investing in efficiency. Without it, you are just a passenger. With it, you are the pilot.
Thank you very much, right? The last sentence says it all. Without it, you are just a passenger, which means your facility drives you. You are not the one driving it. But then when you are the pilot, you are in total control, right? You get visibility into the energy infrastructure of your facility. Even be it manual logging, right? Which is not very efficient, but then when it is done properly, you might get results out of it. And then when you now incorporate technology-driven solutions to help you get data that would help you make certain informed decision and provide visibility and control, then it makes your work very, very easy in your facility, right? So it is the bridge between spending money and investing in efficiency, having an efficient system, not just throwing money around, right? So, and this will bring us to our final question for today, which is, what is the most important mindset shift required for energy monitoring? What is the most important mindset shift required for energy monitoring? Okay, Mr. Abayomi.
I may not be right, but I think the most important mindset shift required for energy monitoring is data. That is data analysis, to analyze what consumption is, how energy rate is being monitored and used. Thank you.
Thank you very, very, very much for that. Okay, let's quickly take Mr. Victor, 1 minute.
Well, for me, I would say the most important mindset shift for energy monitoring is moving to digital. I think digital solves a lot of problems rather than like the little facility I work, like it's my own. So I do more of manual. I take down just like someone taking down stock. So this has really opened my eyes into, delving more into digital. That's my own mindset shift that I got from this whole training.
Thank you very much for that. Mr. Olota, 1 minute.
Is to Mr. Victor beat me to that. The basic thing of the mindset is to digitalize the system, the process, and that eliminates a lot of inconsistencies and manual interference. Also, so just to bring back to what happened to Lagos State many years ago, some IT guys came to facilitate one of it, and they said what Gordon Fashola did first was that he first digitalized the process, let money not pass through hands of workers, and Lagos State was able to pay up to 9 months' salaries that they were owing, because from blocking the loopholes of taxes where people go to negotiate and collect money manually, everything just, the thing too also that President Buhari did was just an attestation to digitalizing the process. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for that. I think Mr. Ajibola wanted to say something because I think his hand was raised up. Okay, let's look at the comment section. Okay, I think that brings us to the end of today's section. For me, I would say the most important mindset shift, right? We've all given very brilliant answers, which is data, digital, technology, and all that. I would also add by saying having an habit, kind of mindset, to taking record of data, to constantly checking in with your facility, ensuring that everything is working smoothly in your facility. You also need to have, a form of habit attitude towards that. So thank you all so much for having me today. It's been such a pleasure to take us on this journey of understanding energy monitoring and the introduction to energy monitoring. So thank you all. Have a wonderful day ahead. Goodbye for now.
Hello, everyone. Let's show some appreciation to Mr. Miracle. Please, let's show some appreciation. Let's use our react emoji. Let's use our words also. If you can mute your mic, let's say the word thank you. Because like I do say, it's not easy to take time out of their busy schedule to make sure that they are here every Thursday. So let's show some love. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Let's show some appreciation. Thank you, Mr. Miracle. That was such a beautiful and engaging session. I'm sure all of us loved it, right? Yes, I can see the chat room. So people are waiting for the music session. Okay, but then that is like Dr. Ife's thing, and Dr. Ife is gonna like take
Don't
into
worry,
the
next
session.
week now. We'll back to our
Dr. Ife
music,
is here.
guys.
Hi. Hello, sir. Welcome.
Don't worry. Next week we'll back to our music.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Sir, what did you say? Dr. Ife, what did you say, sir?
I said next week we'll back to our music. Don't worry, guys. We'll back next week. I'll back next week.
Okay, so you had what you said. So from next week, you'll be back with your music, all right? So thank you guys so much. So just to say some things that Mr. ACN said, he made mention of us deploying our uptime and downtime sensor, 2 of them for like 2 people in their facility. I will also drop a message on the group chat regarding that. So if you're interested, once you see that message on the group chat, just come into my DM privately and we can have further discussion. And he also made mention of us deploying our dashboard for you. And I must say that honestly, you wouldn't want to miss this kind of opportunity for your facility. So if you're interested, once you see that message in the group chat, please kindly enter my DM as quickly as you can. Thank you. So I'll be calling out the names of the attendance list now. I made mention that we'll do the call out. So kindly pay attention to your names. Thank you. Just give me a minute. I hope we're not leaving the call because attendance is very important, like I said. So please listen attentively to your names. Mary Azaya. Mary Azaya. Mary Azaya. Okay. Abayomi Adeshino. Mr. Abayomi Adeshino. Okay. Mr. Abayomi Adegbero. Mr. Abayomi Adegbero. Abiodun Faleye. Abiodun Faleye. Adedeji Olaonipekun. Adedeji Olaonipekun. Adegoke Bashiru. Adegoke Bashiru. Adeola Okwade. Adeola Okwade. Adesonya, rather. Adesonya. Ajibola Phillips. All right. Ayobami Emmanuel. All right. Ayobami Emmanuel. Barry. Chidima Itodo. Chidima Itodo. Joel Joseph. Joel Joseph. All right. Dale. Somebody named Dale, or you used your system, Dale. Engineer Peter Ativi. Felix. Femi Adeoso. Mbamfan Abari. Okay, Infinix X6725. Okay, Abari, I've seen you. Please, in case you're using your full name, please kindly change it. Be changing it to your names so that your name will be on the attendance list. Itowo Ezekiel. Jibril Mohammed. Okay, so I've seen you. Jibril Mohammed. John Kabera. Kanyang Pam. Okay, Kanyang Pam. Kingsley Oluwaseun. All right. Kolawole David. Malik Embassy. Okay. Mercy Udayi. Olariwaji Oyedokun. Okay. Olota is present. Okay. Olufemi Akonde. Olusegun. Olufemi Akonde and Olusegun. Olushola Oludare. Okay, it's Olusegun, I've seen you. Olushola Oludare. Onodarazak. Peter Emmanuel. Okay. Samsung SM. Please, in case you're using the name of your phone, please be changing it to your name, guys, so we can impute your name. Sheung Solota. Okay. Solota. Suleiman Shonge. Suleiman Shonge. Bande Fan Vim. Okay. We have Victor. Ziomi. Okay. Yusuf Akorede. That's the last person on my list. Yusuf Akorede. All right. So that's all the names of the list of attendants on my list. Is there anybody that didn't hear their names, please? Hi, a lot of you guys did not hear your name. That's serious. Somebody is even calling me mommy, Jesus. Okay. You guys are Del. I called you. Your name is showing as Del. Ziomi. I called you. Okay, Ari, noted. Olufemi Akonde, I called you. You can drop your ends. Yes. Okay. All right. So that is all for, oh my God, some people did not hear their name. Engineer Maiwa Taiwo. You also did, I didn't call you. Wow. What am I going to do? Okay. I've noted all these people's name. In case you didn't know your name, don't worry, I've noted it already. It's fine. So thank you guys once again for joining. Thank you so much. Today's class was super amazing, like I said earlier. In case you missed a bit of the classes, you can search for Ibotech on YouTube and you can watch everything that went down in today's class. Thank you so much for being active. Thank you for joining early. Thank you for being super amazing participants. We appreciate each and every one of you. And like I said, if you are interested in our uptime and downtime store for your facility, please immediately see my message on the group chat. Just go in straight to my DM. And likewise, we would love to hear feedbacks from you. So please send us your feedback on the WhatsApp group chat. See you same time next week. And for all of you that miss Dr. Ife, don't worry, he's the one taking next week's session, but just make sure that you are active and you are here on time. So bye everybody. Have a lovely weekend. Have a lovely week, guys. See you same time next week. Bye. Oh, some people are not in the group chat. Wow. Okay. I'm sending the link now. I'm sending the link now, everyone, for people that are not on the group chats. Please click on the link that is on the chat box now so you can join. I've sent it multiple times. Click on the link on the chat box now and join. For those of you that are not on the group chat, please join now because we're ending the class now. Click on that link and join the WhatsApp group. So, all right, everyone, have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy the World Cup. Have a blessed weekend. Have a blessed day. See you same time next week. Bye-bye. Bye, everybody. Bye. I want to hear your voices, so bye, bye. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. Bye, guys. Bye.